Hello everyone, and thanks for being here this evening. I hope you will find this presentation interesting and informative. This is a funny subject that I have been studying, or at least keeping in the back of my mind in the last 30 years, no exaggeration. I first discovered about these coins about 30 years, maybe 1990, early 1990s, 92, 93. As a registered collector, I have one larger size and three smaller size coins in my collection, and I looked at my registration book, and yeah, I have known these coins for over 30 years now. And I had an idea where they come from, and it was confirmed eventually. However, the coins themselves don't give us much information to pinpoint a location to attribute them. And over the years, many reputable scholars have studied these coins, and they have not been able to pinpoint a mint location. Yet, in the last 30 years, I am pretty much sure where the mint location was, yet I waited for some magical time to come across some more concrete evidence than what we already have to be able to write an article and do a presentation like that. Anyways, late last year in December, I had a couple weeks free time, so I started to write down. And of course, when you start writing, you start researching, and you find this and you find that, and your research goes, this way and that way. And anyways, finally, I have concluded my research and writing, and here we are. I'm ready to present my findings. Again, I do not have 100% concrete evidence to say that these coins are from this place. However, I have very strong arguments, which I will share with you and see if I will be able to convince you about the location that I will indicate. Okay, so I call it the coins of Octavian from an unknown colony. I used to call it the coins of Augustus from an unknown colony, but I switched. I am convinced that they were the coins of Octavian at that time, before Octavian assumed or given the title Augustus. That's why the title is the coins of Octavian from an unknown colony. Colonial coinages are very well known throughout the Roman Republic and the Roman imperial period. Here is an example from Lampsacus in Mysia, northwestern Anatolia, by Julius Caesar, and one of his earliest depictions on a coin, before even his likeness appeared on a Republican coin. And here is another one from the same mint, two different sizes. It's really interesting that they always designed multi-denominational monetary systems throughout the colonial period or colonial coinages. So here is one about 21 millimeter, the other one is 18 millimeter, rather smaller. One thing that I would like to draw your attention to is a part of the legend. As you see, it says, it gives the name of the mint masters or mint supervisors, Q. Lucretius and L. Pontius. So Q. Lucreti, L. Ponti, and 2 Vir here. And the same is true on this coin, being from the same mint. You can understand that. Not all of them have the same legends, but this 2 Vir appears in many examples. So here is another one from Spain, and here is one from the mint in Rome. So the images usually that we see and say these are colonial coins would be 2 hump bulls, also known as zebu. They are depicted with a yoke, and they are called yoke of oxen plowing. They are in the action of plowing a field. No, there are several suggestions as to what they represent or represented at the time. One suggestion was that the founder or the priest would plow the land and establish the borders of the land designated for a colony. However, the example that you see here, the Republican denarius here, it's not about a colony. It's about a religious ceremony, consecration of the land. It's a fertility ceremony and representing the consecration of the land. So even though the suggestion that the founder, the priest, is determining the borders of the land, it has merit, it's not true, actually. It is, the symbolism is about consecrating the land, and you know, representing or meaning or showing the founding of a colony or a land when it is a colony issue. And of course, we have many other colonial coinages in different forms. One here in gold, Nemausus, showing Agrippa and Augustus, almost Janus-like displayment. And on the reverse, even though this is in gold in France, modern France, they boast about their success defeating Mark Antony and Cleopatra. So they captured the alligator or crocodile and chained it to a palm tree, pure propaganda. On this one, again, struck in Spain, Hispania, and it clearly indicates that it's the coin of Patricia colony, Colonia Patricia. And here is another one from Zaragoza, again, Spain. You have the head of Augustus, and on the reverse, sometimes it is considered a priest, other times it is thought to be Augustus himself plowing with the yoke of oxen. And here is one from Phoenicia, Berytus, again, Augustus on the reverse, city founder plowing with yoke of oxen. And as you see, Colonia Julia in abbreviation on top of the oxen. And here's another one from Galatia, Lystra, again during the time of Augustus, again colonist plowing. And finally, here is one that appeared in Commerce last month. Actually, it was auctioned last week, and it's an uncertain Asia Minor, again, another uncertain coin. Most likely it shows radiate head of Augustus. Most likely it was struck after Augustus passed away. And on the reverse is a new title or designator, the deductor or deductor, which apparently means founder. So these are all, of course, related to Augustus. So it's just an enormous field of study and research, the colonial coinages of Octavian and Augustus. Why do we have so many colonial coins during the time of Augustus? It's all about the military activities. During the Republican period, the Roman legion comprised 5,200, 5,000, sometimes 4,800 infantry, and anywhere between 150 and 300 equites, meaning cavalry. Infantry, usually regular citizens. Cavalry, those who can afford a horse and have enough money to be an officer, but not just a regular soldier. During the Roman imperial period, the numbers vary. However, the numbers go up, 5,500 infantry and more cavalry, but an average of 5,500 soldiers in a Roman legion. At the death of Julius Caesar, it is known that there were 37 legions. And at the end of the civil war between Mark Antony and Octavian, there were about 60 legions. Now, this is not only Octavian's legions. Once it was obvious that the war was lost at Actium, many legions that supported Mark Antony actually switched sides and joined Octavian. Even though that was something wanted and welcome during the time, after the final defeat, it became a huge burden on the shoulders of Octavian, because these people, they were all professionals. They were all depending on the payment that they would be receiving by serving as soldiers. So it was not an easy task for Octavian to deal with so many people. We're talking 330,000 soldiers. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that all of them had to retire. That doesn't necessarily mean that all of them had to be, given payment. Yes, as a result of the victory, they received a certain amount of payment, and some of them had to be discharged. And traditionally, during the Roman Republican period, you would discharge the soldiers and by giving them land. There were two reasons for that. One, in the early Republic, until the Second Punic War, it was always the citizens. When the army meant the Roman people. When there was a military conflict, people would simply don their uniforms and they would become soldiers. And then when during the peacetime, they would go back to minding their fields and their business in town. However, continued wars simply switched the traditions, and a professional army started to be adopted. And professional army meant, just like today's civil servants or military service, you are conscripted for a certain time period. You serve as a soldier, a paid sword, if you like, and by the end of your service, be it 20 years or 25 years, you retire. Of course, you get a sum of money when you retire, but at the same time, traditionally, as Rome or the Roman Republic was expanding, you would be given land. I think, I don't know if there was a union, if there was a certain demand by the soldiers' union at that time, but they managed to get this privilege to be discharged with land. As you can imagine, the wealthy people in Rome would not give anything for free. And unless you fight for it, you will not get anything from them for free. So it's a completely different topic of research, maybe, as to how the legions, discharged legions, get the privilege to retire with a piece of land. Anyways, so the tradition was very well established by the time Octavian defeated his opponents, and he had 60 legions of soldiers that he needed to retire, discharge, and he needed to give land. That's why, if you notice, when we go back here, you see these colonies were all founded or established in two opposite sides of the mainland Rome, the Italian peninsula, Hispania, Anatolia, Asia Minor, or the Middle East, Syria. So no land to be given to these soldiers in Italy. And interestingly, all these coins bear Latin legends, no Greek legends, even though it was traditional at the time in these lands, whether it is Syria or Anatolia, and to some extent in Spain, to have legends in Greek. as you see, all these colonial coins from even earlier times, from the time of here Julius Caesar, they are all in Latin. Why do they have Latin legends? Because they were actually trying to convince the discharged soldiers to continue to carry the Roman citizen privileges. So the coins are in Latin. They are actually in Rome. They are maybe physically they are in Mysia, in Lampsacus, but they are actually told that they are in Rome. And how do they prove that? Here's the coinage. The coinage in that area is completely in Greek, yet these coins were struck in with legends in Latin. A kind of gimmick, if you will, trying to convince these grumpy soldiers who expected to receive some land in Italy, but they were simply sent away to foreign lands, literally foreign lands, even though those lands were under the Roman rule. They were foreign lands, and putting these people in those lands, I don't know how comfortable these people felt about that. And one other practice that some scholars have noticed is that some of these colonies were simply inserted in areas where the support of Rome was the weakest. So rather than doing a favor to these discharged soldiers, actually they were settled in sensitive areas to simply give a message to the locals. Hey, here are some soldiers, albeit they are retired, they are still Roman soldiers, and they are here. So be careful with what you say and what you do against Rome or the Roman Republic at that time. So going back to our coins, they are very simple. There are two denominations. One is a little larger and the other one is a little smaller. The larger one is about 25 millimeters and around 14 grams. The smaller one is 19 millimeters and average weight is around 6 grams. There are the ones around 5 grams and 7 grams, but usually average 6 grams. And the sizes are 19, 18, 17 millimeters on the smaller one, and the larger one about 23, 25 millimeters. So it is obvious that the mint designed to issue two denominations. The legends are very clear. There is nothing illegible. There are plenty of well-preserved examples. So we're not in any difficulty in understanding the legends. Everything is clear and well read. On the obverse, we have the head of Octavian, and around the head is the legend Princeps Felix. And this is true on both denominations. Nothing else, Princeps Felix. It is very well written and we can easily read and understand. On the reverse, the legends are the same, exact same, together with the monograms, Colonia, Julia, 2 Vir, and 2 monograms. Again, even though the types are different, the figures on the reverses are different. The legend is the same: Colonia, Julia, 2 vir, and then 2 monograms. So what is so difficult to understand, and what makes these coins so interesting or so enigmatic? Yeah, the issue is there is no reference to where they were written, that they were minted. It's just, it has been an enigma for the historians and numismatists in the last 100 years or so. They simply didn't know where these coins were minted. Early numismatists, not knowing where these coins came from during the 19th century, early 1900s, suggested Macedonia. Yes, there are some other unknown colonia in Macedonia, and they simply thought these coins were also from Macedonia, but that's not true. And during 1960s, there was some study and some information suggested Cilicia. And finally, they thought they found an answer, but that answer was not correct. We will come to that. Going back to these denominations, scanning through the published catalogs and online resources, I discovered that the larger denomination comes with only 1 obverse and 2 reverse dies, which is both normal and unusual. You would expect at least 2-3 obverses and several reverses, but for some reason I was not able to find a second obverse, but I was able to find 2 reverse dies. So since the reverse dies wear out more quickly, traditionally when they designed a coinage, they would create multiple reverses for each obverse die. So tradition continues here, albeit quite limited. And on the smaller denomination, I established 2 obverses and 6 reverses. I haven't done a complete die study, but it is quite obvious that these dies, the reverse dies, were created separately, and they're all different from one another. So I understand that smaller, the intention, obviously, that they wanted to mint more or produce more smaller denomination coins. So they expected and designed the coinage in such way that the small change would be more common to run the market economy. So they have 2 obverses and 6 reverses. What else we have? We understand from this that these are limited emissions. There's no continuation. This is the beginning and the end. So it's limited emission. RPC1, very valuable study by some renowned scholars, suggested that these denominations, the larger one might be Epipondius and the smaller one an as, but then they rather decided that it should be the larger one is an as and the smaller one is a semis. I can understand that, why they try to say that, because this is a colony and these are coins designed and minted following the Roman traditions. And maybe they were, they simply told the inhabitants of this new colony that these were, the larger ones were asses and the smaller ones were semises. But I have serious thought about that. They are in a region where nobody knows as or semis or depundis or any other Roman denominations. They had their own rich and well-established denominations. If we're talking about Cilicia, eastern part of Cilicia, many cities were minting coins at that time, and calling these coins or naming these coins after the Roman traditions, I don't know. There's still a question mark there. One thing for sure, artistically or stylistically, they look very Roman Republican. So my theory is that they were designed and engraved by a non-local provincial coin die engraver, but probably they were struck at a local mint under local traditions. And I'll explain that why. I theorize that these coins were designed and engraved by probably a mint worker, mint engraver traveling with the army of Octavian. I'm just inserting some of my theories every now and then. Nobody says this. Or nobody has said this before. So going back to the legend, obverse legend, Princeps Felix. So these are the only coins that we see this legend. Tacitus, widely pronounced as Tacitus, but I believe it was Tacitus during the Roman period. Tacitus says in his annals, Augustus found the whole state exhausted by internal dissensions and established over it a personal regime known as Principate. So Princeps is an ancient legend or title in the Roman Republic. It means leader or the first man, first person, coming from Princeps Juventutis, prince of the youth. Octavian was very diligent about the sensitivities of the Roman Republic at that time. Even though the Roman world was in turmoil, he was sensitive about the sensitivities of the Roman people. So he didn't want to have a title that would irritate people. So he described himself Princeps because it had no overtones of tyranny or excessive power. He was just simply saying, I'm the first man in Rome, and the regime, the governing system that I am proposing is Princeps. So that's why he, on this coinage, for the first time, most probably, I haven't seen it on any other coins, he introduces this new idea, the new title for himself. So that's why I believe these coins were minted before he was granted the title Augustus. This one predates the Augustus tradition. So the coins between 43 and 36 BC, end of Triumvirate, are purely Republican in character. coins between 36 and 29 BC showed Octavian as the acknowledged head of the state without any imperial titles. And princeps probably first appeared on these Colonia Julia coins. And Octavian understandably promoted the name Caesar during the Civil War, and then Augustus, as one could not go more sublime than a title like Augustus. But between those two, he played with the words, and he came up with this title. And it is great that he did that, because this restricted use of the princeps title dedicated to the Julia Colonna series is significantly helpful to dating the coins. Now, let's look at the reverse types and see what they really mean. A peculiar depiction of a female deity. Is it Athena, Minerva, or Roma? So Roma is usually depicted seated with all the arms and weapons of Athena, Minerva. So this one cannot be Roma. Athena would be the Greek version of Minerva. And since this is mostly Roman Republican nature, we would want to call it Minerva. Yet, it doesn't carry most of the, or most significant attributes of Minerva. So what we see here is a female holding a victory in her hand. No cuirass or aegis breastplate, as we would see in Athena or Minerva. Just a female long chiton and some kind of a belly covering piece. And finally, her left arm is resting on a vexilla. And this is a typical Minerva, as you see, holding an overturned spear in the left hand, and in the right hand, a Nike or victory in the tradition. And here we have the shield. These are all her attributes, and also the breastplate with aegis, with the face of Gorgonia. So none of those, spear, shield, aegis, none of, and also the headdress, the helmet, we don't see that very clearly here either. So it's really enigmatic. One cannot really 100% certainty say that this is Athena or Minerva. Here is another example. This is the second type. As you can see, the head, I don't really want to say that she wears a helmet. It's not like a helmet. It's like a hairdo, like a ball hairdo. And interestingly enough, she stands in an earnest pose, very calm, holding victory, extending, the victory is extending a wreath to the deity, as we see traditionally on Minerva, Athena types. The left elbow on a military standard, which is a direct message to the now retired victorious legionaries. To that effect, even though the goddess dons a helmet, if it is a helmet, she does not wear her cuirass, and her shield, one of her main attributes, is omitted. So a typical depiction of a war goddess that does not have to war anymore. That's how I would like to describe this figure, provided that it is Minerva. on the reverse of the smaller denomination, we have, again, the legend Colonia Julia du Vir. Colonia Julia is the ancestral name of Caesar, Octavian, as the adopted son of Julius Caesar. Of course, he's promoting Octavian's reputable clan. And we have Du Vir, as I indicated at the beginning on the first slide. This is something that we see on many other colonial coins. And here we have this monograms, and some people would like to read them as Veter. RPC suggests that they meant the first and the second Duwori, co-supervisors of the emissions. They might be right. That's what they might stand for. But, and is there a way to find out what they really mean? No, there isn't any way to say that this is not true or this is true. But we see the same thing. So what do we see here? A plow with 2 humped oxen. It refers to the founding of the colony. That's no question there. Plow and ox yoke, sometimes with a priest or the founder plowing, were commonly used in Roman colonial coins, both during the Republic and Imperial periods. Plow appears in coinages of many cities and kings before the Roman colonial coinage as a fertility symbol. So we have to keep that in mind. So therefore, the plowman should be considered a religious symbol as well as a propaganda piece, inaugurating and consecrating the soil of the new colony, as in the case of the Colonia Julia coins. So the meaning is obvious. Now, going back to the meaning of the letters Du Vir, which indicate the duoviri or dumviri, and dignity in place of consul in the Roman colonies, which appear on both denominations. Duvir was a member of a 2-man committee called Duviri or Dumviri in Rome. Besides their junior administrative role in Rome, they were the magistrates representing the governing authority in a colony where coins were struck, and this job was under their responsibility. That's why we see so many Duvir type coins in colonies. The plow is an important symbol which also appear on other coins. Here is a coin from Anazarbus in eastern Cilicia with a plow on the reverse. This coin must have been struck right after, or a couple years after, our coins were started to be struck. This one, we know the date, the exact date, year 51, it says, and it corresponds to 19 BC. This coin literally tells us when it was struck. And we can say that the plow tradition continued. And why did they decide to use a plow on this coin? There's no referral to the Roman Republic. It's on the reverse. The legend is Anazarbeon, the coin of the people of Anazarbos, and the plow. After the Actium, the Wessel king, Tarquin Demotus, who took sides with Mark Antony, was killed in the Actium, Octavian at that time demolished the Cilician or Cilician kingdom. So no more Tarcondemotus kingdom. However, about 10 years later, whatever promises the offsprings, the son and grandson of Tarcondemotus did, they regained the support of Octavian or Augustus by that time, and Augustus reinstated the Tarcondemotus kingdom. And this coin most probably was struck to commemorate the refounding of not the colony, but the Cilician kingdom. Again, this is pure speculation. We have no evidence, but if we take the symbolism of the plough into consideration, it's a plausible theory. Is this the only, or is this the second plough type in Cilicia? No. Here is another example or depiction of a plough from Alexander the Great from 327, 323. So plough was the symbol of the city of Tarsus at that time. Is this the only one? No, we can go several hundred years even back. And here is another coin from 385 BC, Malos. We have the same plowman with two oxen consecrating the land. So it's a fertile land. It's a farming land, very rich soil. It's only normal that the symbolism was popular all through the ages. However, we must distinguish the Roman Republican tradition from the others. The main idea is the same, consecrating the land, but the symbolism is owned by different deities or authorities or rulers. Yet it's a very well-known symbolism. So one other aspect of these coins is countermarks that we see on these, and that also confirms and reinforces the theory that these were limited editions. You would only use countermarks when you're not able to issue new coinage. You're simply either saying the value has changed, here is the new value, or you otherwise confirm that these coins are still valid. Or the third option is that these coins can circulate in a different location. Which one is true, we will discuss. So on one of the countermarks is in the form of a trophy. As you can see here, the trophy is in the middle. One of the shields here, the other one, the shield is not visible here, but there should be one. And this one, you can see the shield this is upside down. I just turned it for you to see. And this is the legend that, this is the trophy from a gold coin for you to see how it really looked. So one of the countermarks is a trophy. And the other one is a branch. And I believe it's palm branch. So you see the same countermarks on both large and small denominations. That means they are not value designators. They are designators of validity. And or they were struck to circulate in a place different from their original place of issue. Now, again, it's pure speculation. My theory is that they were struck during the times of change in political changes in Eastern Cilicia. If these coins were struck during the time between the end of the Actium conflict and before Octavian assumed the title Augustus, so we're talking 30 BC and 27 BC. In 19 BC, you have the Cilician kingdom or Cilician kingdom, Tarcondemotus kingdom was reinstated. So maybe these countermarks were struck to validate these coins. Yes, the Cilician kingdom is reinstated, but these coins are still valid. And the countermarks are meaningful too. These are military colonies, and the trophy countermark is 100% related to the military nature of the colony. And again, the palm branch is also a symbol of victory, or Nike. Nike is usually depicted carrying a palm branch on many coins. So they're both related to the colonial or military nature of these strikes. And again, both countermarks can be seen on both large and small denominations. That means they didn't indicate a change of value, but they indicate an establishment that these coins are still valid despite the change in the political situation. Now, just when I started to write this article and put together this presentation, this coin appeared in commerce in January, and it excited me a lot. As you see, it's the same type with a different legend, countermark. Here is an enlargement for you. As you can see here, it's maybe I tried to blow it up so it became a little bit blurry, but what is written in the countermark is quite legible, but let me help you with that. So here in the lower part, there is L and I, the letters L and I. And as you can see, it can mean a couple things. It can mean L is usually an abbreviation for legio or legio. Is it legio 1 or 51? Is it the 51st Legion, or is it Legion 1? Again, pure speculation. Whatever you say, you can argue, and no one will be able to dispute you concretely. However, this is something that you see on other legionary coins as countermarks. So L most likely stands for legio. And 1 may be meaning the first legio in a in a superficial way, this is the best legion, maybe. The first legion doesn't necessarily mean the first one, but the most prominent one, maybe. And then, of course, you have the RP in a monogram style. It can mean Republicae, and most likely it does mean Republicae. We see this on other coins during the Roman imperatorial period. 3 vir RPC, Triumvir Republicae Constituendae, Triumvir for the establishing of the Republic. So no more Triumvir, it's over. However, everything that we do is for the Republic, right? So this represents the Roman Republic, so in a way, these retired soldiers still aspire to have or reinstate or believe that they continue to live under the Roman Republic. It's really interesting that this coin all of a sudden appeared in commerce while I started to study these coins. So going back to the history of study of attribution of these coins, the most serious writing comes from Henry Siri, a very well-known and reputable historian, archaeologist, numismatist, and he wrote an article called Monnaie Hellenistique, and a chapter in that article is titled Colonia Julia, and he studies these coins. His conclusion was that these coins were from Ninica Cladiopolis in central Cilicia. Nobody wanted to dispute that at that time because the legends that you see on Ninica Cladiopolis are very similar, although our coins, the ones that we study here today, are quite different. Actually, the legends are very different too. Here, the legend is Colonia Julia Augustus Feli Ninica Claudia. So our coins, other than Colonia Julia, everything is different. Eduardo Levante, my mentor and a great support during my studies and compiling my catalog, followed Sirik's suggestion out of courtesy. He knew him very well. They discussed this issue during 1960s, mid-1960s, before Sirik wrote his article. And he, out of respect, he didn't want to dispute. And what Sirik wrote in his article is that he discussed this with Eduardo Levante, and Levante told him that he bought those coins in Adana. And Sirik, not knowing anything about the region, simply suggested that these coins traveled, and Adana was a major city. And so it's only normal that people who found them in Cladiopolis in central Cilicia, modern Mut in Mersin province, they must have brought the coins to Adana to sell. That's why he bought them in Adana. And I discussed, of course, while compiling my catalog, SNG Tahberer, with Edo, and I said, look, these coins are found here. They are not, I didn't purchase them here. I know they are found here. Yes, I did purchase them in Adana, but these people told me that they found it not too far from here. And it says, you know what, we don't have any evidence regarding the location. I suggest that you continue, you follow my my lead and just, you know, put them under Ninikakaladiopolis. So he, out of respect to Sirik, followed Sirik's suggestion. And I, even though I knew that it was not right, out of respect, I followed Levante's suggestion. Only to wait 30 years to dispute it. I'm just going to give out the reasons why I decided to dispute that now. So anyways, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the compilers of the Roman provincial coinage, these coins are not from Ninikakaladiopolis, which is far from central, far from eastern Cilicia in central Anatolia. So these coins are from a place not too far from the city of Adana. And talking to the metal detectorists who found these coins, they were kind enough to show me where they found them, and they took me to the spot. So this is the small hill, wooded hill they showed me, and so you go, you approach. They didn't have such well-wooded area during the time that they took me, but these are you know, recent photographs. The trees grew and it became almost a small forest. But when they first took me there, it was not like this. So you're on top of the hill, overlooking the reservoir, the dam lake down below. And here you're overlooking the city of Adana. So you're not too far from Adana. This is about 17 kilometers northwest of Adana. So these coins were found here, not too far from the original location of the ancient city of Adana. So here is a satellite photo, Google photo of the city of Adana, the reservoir, the dam lake. As you see, the river is winding, coming this way. This photo was taken during the winter, most likely. The reservoir is quite full. During the summer, the reservoir is quite full. During November, December, January, it is usually not this full. And you can see the river winding like this, coming all the way here. And Adana is here. So we are looking at an area like here. So continue, here is a political view of the area, Adana and the lake. And here's a closer look at it. There are multiple villages in this area, and the city is right here. This is the dam, hydroelectric dam. And this is, I tried to sketch the run of the river in the lake. So this is a satellite photo of the hill that they found these coins, and most probably the coins were found in not so wooded area. And as you see, during the winter, the water recedes and you can see the riverbed. And so this is the proximity between this hill and some traces of some settlements in the lake here. So when you come a little closer, you see the curve of a theater here and some other settlement visible under the water. And this is the cavea of the theater. And this place is known as the city, the Roman city of Augusta or Augusta. Now, I have to show you, of course, an ancient map. So here are the ancient cities of Eastern Cilicia or Cilicia, Anazarbus, Mopsuestia, Aigai, Malos, Adana, and Tarsus. And Augusta is right here, not too far from Adana. And it's actually unusually close to the city of Adana. And it's between Mopsuestia and Tarsus. So within close proximity of 3 cities, you have a new city. Why? It is really unusual to have a new city founded so close to other well-established cities. The land is fertile, and there's plenty of land to cultivate. I understand that, but I suspect the people of Adana, Tarsus, Mopsus, and all the others were not happy. They were upset. Now, if you consider the political situation between 30 BC and 27 BC, the civil war has just ended. Yes, Octavian defeated all her rivals. However, there were still people who were not 100% convinced that, he was the victor and the sole ruler, because, he keeps saying that he's going to reinstate the republic. All the institutions of the republic is going to be, he saved the republic. That's what he says most of the time. However, he knew that in Eastern Cilicia, the support for the cause of Octavian was not very strong, especially Tarquin Demotus, the king of Cilicia, supported Mark Antony. It was a very good spot for him to establish certain power to both give a message to the locals and also to make a certain group of grumpy soldiers to be discharged to have some land. The land is again fertile. There is a river running, a very good river running. There is plenty of everything to settle in that area. So, so who wrote what about this place? This is Sir William Ramsay. His studies of Anatolia are phenomenal, and many of the things that he established are still valid, although he was quite perplexed about the location of this city. He says Augusta is placed by Ptolemy in the district Biriklice. Actually, he meant Birik C there, not K. Biriklice of Cilicia, west of Charakene, which contains the city Flaviopolis. Actually, it's not right. And north of Phlomotis, it's not true. The Byzantine list mentioned it in Cilicia Prima, which is correct, between Adana and Malos, which is not correct. These references agree with the customary view that Augusta lay between the Saros and the Piramos, which is somewhat correct. It is adjacent to Saros, not between Saros and Biramos, but no evidence known to me proves its exact position. This is when he wrote this book in 1920s. Coins of Augusta with the legend Augustanum are dated by an era 1920 AD, showing that it was refounded and renamed Augusta in that year. This is really, really curious that he says that the city was refounded and renamed Augusta in that year. And coming back to a more recent study by Michael Goff, another reputable archaeologist who did a lot of surveys in both Eastern Cilicia and Western Cilicia, and his surveys are still extremely valuable because some of the monuments that they he traveled with his wife actually, and that's why I keep saying they when I talk about him, and he drew this map showing the location of Augusta. The main reason why they were able to locate Augusta was the project, the hydroelectric project that they started to do surveying in mid 1950s. They knew the land would be submerged, so they had to run an archaeological survey. And Michael Goff was in the region, and he did the first study. And then a Turkish archaeologist came and did even a deeper study, and they concretely established that Augusta was located in this area. So we now know that there is a city called Augusta, not too far from Adana, and we now know that the city was refounded and renamed Augusta right after the death of Augustus. So Augustus died in 1480, in AD 14. His adopted son, Tiberius, the biological son of Livia, became the emperor. Tiberius, to show his gratitude to his mother, immediately named her Augusta. And what better way to show his gratitude to her mother, refounding or renaming a city after her, Augusta. And the earliest coins of the city of Augusta actually have the depiction, the bust of Livia on the obverse most of the time, and a direct tribute to the position of Livia Augusta. So again, going back, my theory, I believe the coins coming from, this is the location, and the ancient Augusta is here. And another note by the metal detectorists, or my inferences from what they showed me, they only found coins from 2nd century all the way to the time of Octavian, and the coins, other coins that they found, nothing after the reign of Augustus. So I understand that this location, and they also found coins in other parts. Let me try to see. There are some islands here, small islands here. And apparently all these small islands were settlements, ancient settlements. So once the city of Augusta was founded, all these small settlements moved to the city of Augusta. That's why you don't find coins after the founding of the city of Augusta. And that's why I believe that these coins should be attributed to pre-Augusta location, and they should not be called unknown colony anymore. And just when I was about to finish my study, this coin appeared on eBay. A completely surprising coin, overstruck, obviously. There is some kind of an undertype, and I can immediately relate. So here you see COL, Colonia, and the obverse upside down. I just flipped it, turned it upside down, and as you can see, the head of Octavian. So this is a coin of Tarsus. Now I learned two things here. One, these types of Tarsus were struck during the last quarter of the 1st century BC. This is significant. This is even more important for me than the fact that these coins were overstruck on the Colonia Felix types. But more importantly, I also now know that Colonia Felix coins traveled to Tarsus, not too far from its location, and the city administrators or the mint administrators in Tarsus didn't mind using those coins to strike their own coins. So I'm really excited about this research, and I would like to present this to the academic world, and would like to have their opinion about my theories here. One of the things that I would like to add here is why do we have so many colonial coins by Augustus? What Suetonius wrote about Octavian, Augustus is interesting. Referring to Mark Antony, it says Mark Antony claimed that Augustus's grandfather had been a freedman and a money changer. He quoted Cassius of Parma, first explaining that they sneered at Augustus as the grandson of a baker and a money changer, writing in one of his letters, "Your mother's flour came from a miserable African bakery, and the coin-stained hands of a money changer from Nerulum needed it." So they were trying to despise Octavian because of his humble background. And from humble, a money changer was not something that you can boast about. Being a grandson of a money changer is not something that you can be proud of. Yet there can be truth in that. Augustus was a very astute person in terms of managing money. He amassed an incredible wealth during his reign, even during the time of the Triumvirate or during the high conflict period. He continued to have access to huge finances, and he knew that he could make money by granting coin minting privileges to colonies and cities in provinces, as well as minting in Rome. So it is really interesting to see the wealth of money or coin issues across the Roman world at that time, and it should be attributed to the astuteness of financial astuteness of Augustus. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I hope you find my theories convincing, or if you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to speak.
What's
that was wonderful, Bekircan. Thank you so much. Fascinating.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. Why Felix?
Yes.
Felix is
well, no, Felix here is most likely a man. He's a man person. So what he tries to say is that Princeps Felix, he's trying to create a new title for himself. And it's not touchy, it's not very brave, but he simply says, I'm the leading person. And that's exactly what it means, leading person.
Felix.
Princeps Felix, yeah.
So it's a title, Felix?
Yes, it is a title, yeah.
Okay.
Leading person.
Okay, Felix, okay. But it's excellent, very nice, thank you. Really enjoyed the coins.
Oh, yes, yeah. You know, they are simple coins, right? Only two types, and everything is visible, yet they are so enigmatic, and by studying them in depth, you can learn so much from them.